Welcome back to Kung Fu Maintenance. Today I've got a Janitrol air conditioner, which Janitrol is now called Goodman. Goodman is what used to be Janitrol. Anyway, got a Janitrol air conditioner with a fan motor that was bouncing around like crazy. Going to show you some of the main factors in changing these out.
Hello and welcome back to Kung Fu Maintenance. Today, well, I was doing some preventative maintenance. You might have seen one of my previous videos, and had a really shaky fan lid. The fan is just bouncing around really bad, as well as everything in the unit is pretty tired. And so, just want to do some preventative maintenance. Thought I'd show you first how shaky the deal is. We've got a dangling capacitor. Going to need to secure that up, and anyway, I'll show you here. Push the contactor in, and you can see the major cracks in the lid, and maybe could fix it up. But here we go. I'll push in the contactor in to see. See how much it's shaking around. It's really bad. Eventually it's just going to fall in. Now it just so happens that I actually have a lid that I saved from another unit, so I'm going to replace the capacitors, change this all out. So let's get started. 6-in-1 screwdriver works really good for taking off the fan lid. And before I do that, maybe I'll go grab my lid way over there, bring it over here. It's probably a good idea to make sure this guy's in good shape first. We're messing with that. Looks like a brand new motor. It's like someone forgot to put the ground wire through the motor deal. Baffle's a little loose, I'll tighten that up. Other than that, everything seems pretty straightforward. Got a couple wire nuts on. Wire leads, contactor leads. Yeah, this should work. Pretty new motor. Okay. Not sure you saw any of that, but yeah. Got our grommet there. Okay. Looks pretty good. I'll just need to tighten up the fan baffle screws a little bit. Okay, on our old motor, to make this safe, what we'll do is we'll pull the disconnect first, trace it back, make sure we've got the correct unit. Conduit comes in from here, comes over to this one here, and just screw it out, push the contactor back in. Yeah, everything's off. We'll discharge our capacitor, holding the insulated handle, the screwdriver, and bridging the metal portion of the contactor. And the little one too. Same deal. taking all this off anyway. There we go. And we'll be anchoring that up. Next is removing all the lid screws. I got a couple tricks to show you on putting the lid back on. Taking it off is very easy. Putting it back on is just slightly tricky, as you've got this squirrel cage and such all around it. Okay, well, I got called off for something else, which often happens. That is what it is. Job security is what it is. As you probably heard me say before. Looks like my screwdriver is getting a bit stripped out. I'm trying to order a new screwdriver. I think I've worked on it a little too hard. A lot of these have flatheads as well, though, so that's good. Just get my flathead back. It's much easier with the nut driver, but it is what it is. And you can also use a power drill or a socket set for these if you want to speed it up. Anyway, it's got about 8 screws all the way around. Hold the lid on. And again, the real trick is putting the lid back on, so I'll show you that in a little bit here. Of course, first thing is going to be changing out this one. And just kind of save all my screws together. Okay, and the lid still is good, it's just that the fan is not balanced and very, very shaky. Anyway, so now we'll just double verify and discharge the capacitor and discharge the fan cap, and then we're ready to take it apart here. That's going to be the next step. Slip the wire leads off. Most of my fans are 5 microfarad. This one is kind of burned out. I believe it's 5. Anyway, just disconnect them here. The wire nuts. There's a black one and a blue wire. Okay, and now we're ready to remove the lid. With our other one. Now we'll lift up and then we'll guide the wiring through. I usually lift from the front here. Guide the wiring on through. Lift the whole deal up. Yeah, look like a pretty tired fan motor there. Is what it is. Anyway, now in our new one, we're just going to do the reverse. We need to feed our wiring through. Okay, so feeding the wiring through will kind of come first. This one's got these wire nuts, which definitely makes it a bit awkward, but that's okay. We'll get it. And before that, I need to recover this grommet. This is a special protection deal. It actually gets slipped over on the outside of the wiring. and protects the wires from rubbing against the conduit or against the sheet metal. Okay. And now we can feed our wires through. Mildly tricky with all these wire nuts, but that's okay. Oh boy. Make sure we're not tying any knots here. No. All right. Here's I am. Doggone it. There we go. Okay. Got everything going through there. Now we can line up our conduit. As well as now we're going to pass our deal back on through over the wiring, and this just anchors it better. It protects the wires from rubbing against the metal, shorting out on us. Okay. And this deal will slip right in, just like so. Okay. And now we can move our lid around. This is the very, very tricky part. So what we're going to do is just position these both on the front and then around the sides of this deal. And my trick here is to take my flat blade screwdriver, insert it underneath, and then turn it to the side just a little bit. Not too much. Just enough. See, we got to get up and over. There we go. We're in there. We're in up front. And then now the other side we'll have to do the same thing. I'll kind of come around back here. This end. You just be kind of patient with it. And giving a little light pressure down. Just kind of figure out where it's hanging up. There we go. And now we're set all the way. And we're ready for our screws. And this ground wire, someone's ran an extra long ground wire, which is fine. We can actually run it to one of the screws here. No big deal. Just make sure all of our heels are up top. It's a little better to tie these underneath, but you can do it either way. If your units are on the roof, my unit's on the roof, so no biggie. And you can actually just take this and run it to this deal. I kind of don't like this long, funky crown deal that somebody did. I'll run it to right here instead. Okay, and you can see that someone put some washers on this new motor, which is good, because this particular kind of bolts don't actually reach through far enough. But with the washers, that makes up for the difference, and everything will work out good. Make sure everything's nice and tight there. And it is. Okay. So now we're grounded, and now we'll be able to put all our screws in. We removed earlier. Anyway, that little bit of turning deal, sometimes you're turning from the top and sometimes from the side. And just being really easy with it. It's very, very simple deal, but it goes a lot smoother if you just kind of take your time with it. And some of those things are frustrating, which is, you know, it is what it is. But the more that you can relax and just kind of let it go in the way that it's supposed to go in, generally the easier it'll go. Like a lot of things, you know, sometimes you get in a hurry and well, yeah, more things can go wrong, so better to take the little bit of time that it takes and do it right than, you know, have to mess with it and do it over, or bending something, or in the back, and this usually has a bit more screws, but it looks like those have been lost over the years. Might find some. I think I found one on the ground over here. Actually, add that. Here. There we go. Now we're ready to wire it up. Wiring's the next part. So here goes. I'm actually going to be replacing the capacitors. See how tired those capacitors are. You want to match your microfarad size. So my fan motor is a 5 microfarad. And my other deal, I believe, is a 35. Most of these are a 35. This is a Janitrol unit, which is now Goodman. Got my work bag here. I think I did not bring a new regular capacitor. Well, the old one is working okay. So I'll just do a new fan capacitor. Alright. I'd like to do a new capacitor itself too, though. Well, should have brought one, but I didn't. Anyway, here's a strap for the new fan motor. Fan cap. So I'm going to strap this in the top here. And our capacitor is working on the other side, so maybe I'll leave it alone for now. I don't know. I'll give it some thought. Maybe I'll just test it out and see how we go from there. I can test the cap as well. Our reading. Anyway, here's our new fan cap. Anchor that in and run the wires. It's the brown wires and the brown and white wire that go to the capacitor. we go. Now we're anchored in there. Nothing's gonna fall on anybody or come apart on anybody. And now for the wheels, we can either trace back where these are going. So the blue wire here is going to be our colored wire or our white wire. We're going to trace that up to where the other one is. Change it out. As long as there's enough room. If not, it appears there isn't. We can go straight up over the top here, or I can actually take this off and just run it there. Might go with that if I can figure out where this ends, or I can just strip it off and start a new one. Nice and easy. Okay, so the colored one is going to go to the white one. And the black will go to black. Line up. That off a little bit more, kind of a little short there. Okay, and we're ready for action. We'll plug the disconnect back in, test it out. Hard start kit's a little bit tired too, so I'll anchor it there. And contactor looks brand new. So anyway, you know, could do that capacitor and hard start kit, but I think it'll be all right. Take an amp draw reading once we fire this up. Clamp in just the black wire, and we'll measure the fan motor as well and see how well we do. Anyway, here goes. I'll plug the disconnect back in. And give this a shot. Okay, disconnect back in, and now we'll manually push the contactor in and see how we bounce around. Hopefully not at all. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So now let's take the amp draw reading. 8.6. Really good. Fan reading. 1.5. Perfect. Looking good. A little bit of buzzing I think will work out once we put the lid back on. The front cover back on. Yeah. Good. Anyway, that's swapping out the fan motor with a new one. Should have a much better year. We'll make sure our fan motor is spinning in the correct direction, and it is. And that'll make for a much better summer. And it'll suck to have a no cool call just because the fan was vibrating around so much that it fell into the unit. Anyway, we're good to go. Thanks for watching Kung Fu Maintenance. I'll just put the lid back on and clean things up a bit. we're all set. Let's be safe out there. Nice beautiful Palm Springs day.